Okay, welcome back. Marine Tech Mike here, where, as you know, we love to teach people how to fix and repair boats. We're boat nuts. Still trying to find the perfect project, which we know doesn't exist. But in the last video, we looked at a whole bunch of boats here on the island. People have emailed in and called me, and we haven't solidified anything except the two things that we really are finding interesting is the two repower projects. And doing a repower for somebody here locally feels good to us because they would pay the bills and we could just use it as a teaching platform. And so this week we're going to talk to Mike, who's an inspiration on his Nonsuch about sailing, and that being a potential project. We're going to track down Art as well for his fisher and see what we do. But hopefully we can find our next project and start documenting that and getting it laid out before students get really elbow deep into engines and electrical. So listen to this interview with Mike. Okay, well, we're down here. It is a beautiful November day. School is just zipping along, and we're still talking about project boats. And so at the end of my video where we were out going all over the island trying to find out about a project, we found a lot of stuff that was needing way too much work. King's Pride for us, I'm still recuperating from that thing.
That was a big project.
That was a lot. It was 2 years. And Greg's still working on it. We'll do a little updates coming soon. He's taking down the headliner and putting in lights and stuff. But at the end, I looked at Art's boat and Mike here for the idea of a potential repower. And since it's already November, when we got King's Pride, we had the boat in August. We brought it to the school. So we're already November, but we want to do a project. And we have our new Santana 20. It's going to be a fun boat, but really it's minor work. Check the chain plates, couple things, and we're going sailing. So the Santana will just be for students having fun. But the more I chewed on it and did some stuff, Mike, I'm liking the idea of a repower. So our viewers some of the new viewers may not know, but you helped a lot on King's Pride with the rudder and fiberglass work and stuff, and you kept Marine Tech going for a lot of years and then brought me on and trained me up, and now apparently you could go sailing anytime you want.
Anytime I want. It's called retirement.
Which is good. Let's chew about a repower. Everything on a boat is expensive, obviously, but you've been down that road before. You've been in the marine trades your whole career.
My whole career has been the marine trades. And what I want to do, we're on board a Nonsuch 30 Classic. It has a 40-year-old Westerbeek that I don't know how many hours are on it because the hour meter wasn't working when I bought it 12 years ago down in Santa Cruz, and hauled it up here. Reconditioned the rigging, but I haven't done too much to the motor. The only thing I've done to the motor is to replace the seawater pump and the freshwater pump. It's starting to smoke, and it's not black smoke, it's not white smoke, but it is just smoking. And
we did go out. This used to be our staff. It still is. This is our boat for staff meetings. When Matt and I, Art, Joe, the staff need to get away, go out for an afternoon and problem solve about work-related stuff, Mike takes us out. He hosts. And we did go out and for our kind of kickoff meeting this fall, and guess what? It was smoking.
It was smoking, yeah.
And Mike was talking about not going on a boat trip. And I said, Mike, you just need to look forward. It's not smoking up there. But yes, and we talked, right? You could refurbish this thing to some degree.
You can rebuild any motor. But after the rebuild, the motor is still 40 years old.
And possibly some of the parts aren't there, like the saddle that's rusty, corroded.
Yeah,
and stuff
they don't build the saddle anymore, so you'd have to refabricate that if it did fail. The other discomfort I have with this Westerbeek and the boat is the V-drop. Everything faces aft. For a younger person who can crawl down in and service all that stuff, it's great. But I want a motor that, one, I can trust, and second is that it's facing forward, and the beta facing forward, everything that I need to service is right there. And so it's what I would like to do is take the Wester Beak out and put a Beta 30 in its place. Now the kicker is that this is a V drive. If I put the Beta back or put a Beta in with the V drive, I've kind of shot the horse, or you want to call it, because everything is facing aft again. So I'm going to put in a sail drive. The first Nonsuch 30 I had, which I bought in, I think, 19...
Right, I think we were over in your shop. You were building a cool little dinghy with the same sail rig, a catboat kind of dinghy. And you said your first Nonsuch had a sail drive. And that's what got us thinking about, sail drive would make it so you could turn it around.
Well, that first, I think it was an a Volvo MD-11 with a sail drive, a 270 or something, I can't remember. But this summer, I saw the boat that I used to own that still has the original motor that I rebuilt and the sail drive, and it's perfectly good. And I mean,
our cold weather is really not as harsh on sail drives and out drives as the warm tropics are, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I have no problems putting a hunk of aluminum underneath the boat, being exposed to corrosion, because they're built to last. So what I'm going to do, or what I'd like to do, is to just clean this whole thing out, which is probably going to be the easiest part of it. To take the motor out, take the engine beds out, take the shaft log out, take the strut out, fill it in, and mount in the fabrication, the engine bed fabrication that comes with the engine. And
that was a tipping point, I hope, when I approached the staff, is that Mike is a composite expert, and you can buy we have somebody to do the composite work, because we only teach one class, and so it's hard to get students to do that kind of work. But having a boat owner invested in it who could do that cleanup, and he says it's no big deal. That's because he's been in our industry. A lot of people might get freaked out about it. What do you mean you're just going to remove the engine, the strut, plug up some holes in your hull, and drop a new engine in?
And put a new engine in.
It's just but that's what we do.
That's exactly what we do.
I think it'd be great for students for authentic learning. The rigging class of getting a motor in and out of a boat. We've got fuel systems, control cables. We got electrical work. We might be able to reposition some of the batteries. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you and I know when it's not just a repower. That's why when somebody goes into a boat yard for a new engine, and they come out of the yard, with a lot less money, because when it's opened up is the time to do stuff, inspect steering, and
Sure. And the other thing that's going to be very convenient, when I do repower this, is the sea strainer and the fuel filter. I will move up forward. So when I open up the hatch here, I see the seawater pump. I see the pump for the oil exchange. I see the fuel filter, and I see the sea strainer right there.
Serviceability, especially on a sailboat, is a big deal.
Correct.
And as we get older, and it's harder to crawl around. So
well, the beauty of a Nonsuch is that, go and look at the Nonsuch Association, and you'll see that there are people sailing these boats into their 90s. And I'm 73.
90 sounds good.
I know.
17 more years. We probably.
I told the wife, 95. We get rid of the boat and go RVing.
Okay, got a plan.
So I got a good 20 years to get my life out of my investment of a repower. Right.
Which is good, and that's part of what we document on this channel is, while we're training technicians, is the cost, and so it is not inexpensive by any means.
No.
But you can't. I don't feel like you should. If you repower a boat and use it for 2 summers and then think you need a bigger boat, you're never going to recoup all that money. But if you go in with a 10-year plan, and you have the money now to invest into it, and you're like, this is the boat I like. I think it makes total sense. These boat hulls and stuff are designed to last way longer than a lot of the systems that are put in them.
Correct. This is Nonsuches are old boats. They
They really sail well, though. This is my favorite boat to go sailing on.
Cat boats sail well, whether it's a Nonsuch with traditional amenities but modern virtues, or just a complete cat boat. It's a laser. One sail, trim one sail, and it's easy. This particular boat, this Nonsuch, is set up with an electric halyard winch. So the main job is getting the sail up. Once it's sailed up, it's over. So there's no problem there. There's refrigeration. There's heat. There's everything you need to sail in the Pacific Northwest. What I have a problem with is the reliability of the motor. I feel very comfortable going out to the west coast of Vancouver Island. I feel very comfortable going up to Campbell River, because if the motor goes kaputs, I can put the sail up and sail home without the worries of beating a current. Above Campbell River, I think a reliable engine is necessary in order to have a safe and complete trip.
I would agree. Yeah, when you get a lot of currents and small channels and things like that. So, so I haven't really looked, but I know that you have been a little bit when we started talking about in your shop about repowering with a sail drive. 20-some thousand for the package ish.
Yeah, it's going to be about
25 by the time you have prop and a base and stuff, maybe. I mean, just a ballpark. Just
a ballpark. I figure it's going to be about 25. I mean, I got to buy some epoxy resins. I need to buy some paint. I need to get probably a new muffler, water lift muffler, because the exhaust hoses aren't going to fit the old one.
Old to new, yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps a little more wiring, some hoses. And the other thing, as long as I got the motor out of the boat, there's no reason why I shouldn't replace all of the drain tubes.
The cockpit drainage and stuff like that. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And just get in there and buy the hose, replace it, so I know it's good. And by doing that, I check the through hull fittings, which are plastic and can deteriorate. Not so much here in the Pacific Northwest, but now's the time to do it.
Right.
When the call it the rear end of the motor or the rear end of the boat is all exposed.
Yeah, get in there and check it out.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, I still like the idea. So far, you're on the top of my list. I think what I need to do is we have to make sure that all the staff and the high school programming and everybody is on board with the project, because these projects really only work if we can bring them to school.
Right.
We have to have it close by to the shop, because so our students can just pop out back, work for a couple of hours. I think I can sell it to them pretty easily, because you are a former instructor and you love sharing your experiences and knowledge and helping young people learn the craft of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a huge plus for us. And I don't have to buy the equipment. You have to write the check. With King's Pride, man, our budget was down. I'm like, we were broke at the end. So that would be a win for us at Skagit Valley College. So.
Well, what a win for me is that, of course, I'm getting up in age. I've just had 2 total knee replacements, so at this point in time, it's a little hard for me to get around, but I can do it. However, I'll do so much and leave room for the students to come in alongside me and or behind me to complete the job.
Right, and of course, meeting number 1, we've already got the cameras rolling. We want to share our experiences, so you're willing to let that happen. You did it before with King's Pride, and so I know that that's part of the package deal. And I'm excited. I think I'm going to head up to the school, and for our followers, they can leave some comments on a refit. I think a nice repower would be good for this calendar year, and we'll get the staff on board. And if everybody's on board, we need to meet again. We got a lot of work to do before we pull the trigger, making sure it's going to fit and a plan and some actual budgeting, other than just saying 25.
Yeah. No, I have no concern about it fitting. Where I come from, if it don't fit, you make it fit. it's going to be a real pleasure to know that when you hit that starter button, that it's gonna fire up and it's going to work well.
It's not going to kill all the mosquitoes out back that
Yeah.
your neighbors aren't going to complain.
The other thing about a Nonsuch though is that you don't need a motor.
They do sail really well.
It sails real well, but going north in the Pacific Northwest, a motor, I think is a good idea.
We've made that trip to Southeast a few times, and that's where this boat should go. And yeah, having a reliable engine is a big deal.
Right.
And a lot of it's just timing too. I mean, you can sail and get there, but if you got 3 knots of current against you, and it can be a tight. So let's see if we can make this happen, Mike. I thank you for sharing and helping out at this point, and I can get back to you within a week or two. And
great.
We'll see if this isn't the next Scallywag project.
The next Scallywag project. Yes, I'm excited. I sure hope it happens.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.